The following is a Complexity production.
1, 2, 3, Complexity!
This is the press conference, streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Oh, you don't be serious, man!
You've got questions, we've got answers. And now, your hosts, Complexity.
Hello and welcome everybody. We're back with the press conference. My name is Cam, I'm your host for today, but as always, joined by Beef, Lake, and this time around we swapped out someone for Scott.
I'm back.
Welcome.
Feels like every time we bring you on, there's a roster change to talk about.
It's weird.
Yeah. But speaking of, we have big news this week that we need to address. I think everybody that should be tuning in right now probably knows or is aware of that we had massive changes in the CS team. Jason, why don't you want to guide us through it?
Yeah, I mean, we alluded to it the last press conference. We knew it was coming for a while now. I guess basically the easiest way to say it is the team was having chemistry issues. They were not getting along inside or outside of the game. And that's always something that's tough. We come alongside teams and do our best, but at the end of the day, just like the real world, not everyone's going to get along. And it was discouraging to us, a bit depressing, if I'm being honest. But Peter came to us and said, look, this obviously isn't working. Maybe it'd be best if I sat down. So we got the whole team together like adults and very professionally, without finger pointing and negativity or shouting, just discussed where everyone was at. And everyone came to the conclusion that this is not working right now, and agreed with Peter that, it was probably best that just part ways right now. And, we'd been looking at oBo, a young talent, for quite a while. And we've had our eye on him. We've had him and his family down to visit us here at the Star. And there was never really a slot for him, right? We had a lot of events going on. There weren't any available positions. So with this, the natural reaction would be like, well, you just kind of moved your in-game leader out. Would you put another in-game leader in? But we really wanted to give oBo a shot on the starting roster and move forward with him. So we're really excited. In Complexity, we've always prided ourselves on being able to identify up-and-coming talent, whether it be younger like him or sometimes even older. And we hope that we're good at nurturing that talent. It's not going to be easy for him at a young age, dealing with the global travel and the pressure and the spotlight. And on some level, it might not be easy for us. He's definitely one of the younger guys we've ever brought on the Counter-Strike team, but we're all willing to take that journey together, and we're optimistic it's going to lead to big things. That being said, I want everyone to temper their expectations for his first few LAN events. Playing at home and playing on the bright lights and big stages of esports is very different. No professional player that I can recall just stepped into their first LAN event and just destroyed everyone. So we definitely hope to be patient with him, to come alongside him and to try to nurture and grow his career. There's no guarantee it's going to work out. It might not, but we'd like to invest in some young North American talent and see if we can develop it and get some headway that way.
Just to quickly go back to the roster change in the first place, a lot of people have been wondering, has there ever been an alternative to this, what came out, like the way that turned out now, was there ever an alternative where we keep or Stan stays on the roster?
That was discussed in multiple different scenarios. Even, we'd said, we really think the world is Stan. I mean, anyone who follows Counter-Strike understands he's one of the very best IGLs in the world. And not only that, sometimes he was top fragging at majors for the team while being IGL. He's a very unique talent, and he brings a lot of firepower of his own, which is kind of unusual for an IGL. We talked to moving him to a non-IGL position, but again, it wasn't just like a disagreement on strats or anything. This is a human thing. This was a relational thing where people just could not get along anymore. And as hard as we looked at options and as hard as we tried to work with the team to really fix this, we found it was irreparable. And unfortunately, we were presented with a situation where this was the only option. And Peter felt it was the right option for everyone involved, including himself. And we did our very best to part ways amicably. We think the world of Peter. I think he's going to go kick our ass on some other team, to be honest with you. He's a great player. I would work with him again. And who knows, maybe down the road, it'll be a different situation and we will work together again.
And I actually want to follow up on that, and just because some of the notions that I saw from some fans were like, you guys aren't thinking this through, why would you make this decision? And I also just want to say, like, this was not something that just happened over the course of a week or a weekend. This was something that these issues were going on, and we've been working through them through the course of dozens, if not 100 or more conversations over months.
Yeah.
Trying to work through these things. And, it's something that I know that you, Jason, as well as Matt, the team manager, have been working a lot on. I put a little bit of time into this as well. And unfortunately, no matter how hard we try and how hard the players tried, because they really did try many different times, trying to put these differences aside and let's start over. Let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's go through certain exercises. Just weren't able to make it work. So really, it's not something we ever like having to do. But
no, I don't think anyone is happy about this. I mean, obviously, we're thrilled to be working with oBo. We've been hoping to do that, but no one's happy about this. I don't think there's a winner or a loser. I think, at least in the short term, we're going to be a lesser team because of it, and we're just going to try to push forward the best we can.
Speaking of forward, this week already, as you alluded to earlier, we already have our first LAN event coming up.
Yeah.
This Thursday. I believe you're going to be in London as well?
Yeah, I leave for London tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be...
So I won't be here next week. I'll be in LA next week. So y'all are going to have to hold down the fort and talk visas without me.
Well, hopefully...
I don't know that we have any visas to talk about.
Hopefully not, right?
Pull up something.
Yeah, I'm sure we can, actually.
I'm already thinking of one thing, but...
Yeah.
Anywho, the ECS 7 LAN finals coming up. We are in Group B with MIBR, North, and Vitality. Honestly, at this point, it doesn't really feel like there's an easy group, but at the same time, really, MIBR, North, and Vitality, all three of them are currently sort of like, or at least two of them have been really finding their form lately. So, any thoughts in going into this?
I'm hoping our CS team plays like our Rocket League team did, and just
there we go.
Takes down Vitality. That'd be great. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be tough. All these teams there are super good. Furia has been playing out of their minds lately. I mean, the rest of them speak for themselves. So it's going to be tough. We're going to go over and stay optimistic at the very least. We're going to get Owen some stage experience. We're going to get Rory some experience as IGL, and we'll learn from it and grow from it and keep pushing forward.
Speaking of stage experience with Oren, just as a shameless self plug, our training rooms. The other day, somebody started putting in the noise there. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So once he does fly into to practice here, that's going to be certainly, hopefully anyway, play good. I'm really curious for now because we've never really tried it out, right? Like long-term training in these conditions.
Yeah.
So I really think this could be an interesting development for sure.
For sure.
Scott already alluded to it, but our Rocket League team has been kicking ass. We made top 8. Mm-hmm. Want to guide us through the weekend, or at least the highlights of them.
So I only saw one match live this weekend. It was the 3-0 versus Vitality. I probably should have just went all weekend, but it was great to have the team here, and they were the first non-station team for us that got to come to the headquarters and actually practice out of it. And it was just awesome. From the moment they touched down, it was like a 3-day boot camp for them. They were in the office grinding. And you can just see when they qualified to get back into the series, to come here, played well at DreamHack, through the open bracket. Reminds me of the MLG days, the long runs. And, they fell just short, but they're playing great, and they're heating up when we need them to heat up.
Yeah, I think a big part of that team, and even talking with Flakes himself, was just being a little bit less confident on that stage. And so I think being able to train a little bit in the rooms, we haven't gotten the rooms fully up to where they need to be so that we can have the full stage experience. But even just being in that environment, being with your teammates, being able to pump a little bit of music in there, the players were saying that it helped improve their confidence. And we saw throughout the event them getting better and better on the stage as time went on. And, just a few more matches away from potentially even taking home the entire thing. But some really impressive showings there, and just weren't able to stop the eventual winners, Cloud9.
And it is worth noting. I mean, there were... the way people talked about the team seemed like, oh, yeah, this team kind of like, top 8 is sort of to be expected. But we did just come out of the LRS, and Flakes literally just played his first professional season in that as well. So,
yep.
This is a team that still has a lot of progression ahead of it. Well, speaking of top 8 finishes, Jackson at the E-Champions League unfortunately couldn't or had a bit of an issue with his match.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson headed over to Madrid all the way from California, got there with a couple days of practice. Just an incredible event all over. They got there and they previously at the event they had gotten measured up for suits, and so they got some extremely nice suits on their arrival and all that kind of stuff. And then it came to game day, and unfortunately just wasn't able to get it done. Ended up doing pretty well in the first leg, and then the second leg made it all the way to extra time, and then just started giving up shot after shot after shot. Ended up being that they needed a regame after 60 minutes of the away leg. There was an illegal substitution from his opponent. They ended up regaming, and it ended up playing out a relatively similar situation. Ended up losing by 2, I believe. So even though he had 2 chances, just a little bit outclassed there in that one. And I was talking to him yesterday, and he's just saying it's really just motivating him even more to work even harder. He kind of went into that one maybe a little bit overconfident. And he's really excited. He'll actually be heading out here this week, so I'm excited to talk to him this weekend as he comes out here for the Mexico national event.
Together with
Skills. Yeah, so if anybody's watching, make sure to check out the Mexican national team Fan Fest on Friday, where Jackson and Skills will be out there. You can come and challenge them.
I wouldn't want to. Actually, I would just like to see how it plays out, but I'm
Didn't
pretty
you get
sure.
to play them in the office? Don't we know this?
I watched you play Jackson in the office. That was
I got
brutal.
raffle stomped.
Yeah, that was brutal.
You should keep that private then. You don't want to show the public.
Yeah, but I know he had a great time out there. Probably an incredible experience being at the Champions League finals. He was a little bit sad, I guess, when he got his tickets and they said row 2, and then he got there and row 1 was the bench. So he was in the first row.
Great.
He texted me a video last night of the first penalty goal, and he's like, "Nice seats, right?" And I was a little upset. I haven't texted him back yet, but
Congratulations to Scott Ford as
Thank you.
well, Liverpool fan.
yes, sir.
So yeah, he had a fun weekend, even if he didn't exactly do great in the competition.
Like you said, they provided a really superb experience. Like that whole
Absolutely.
that goodie bag. I don't even want to call it a goodie bag because they had tailored suits, they had shoes, they had everything. Incredible. We also had Apex playing this weekend, their first tournament. Did any of you have any? Did you guys watch it? What do you think?
Yeah, watched it all day on Friday. I think a lot of us in the office
Yeah,
were
it was
watching
fun.
it. It was actually really fun. Reptar was streaming the whole thing. The other 2 guys have stream computers coming to them this week, so they're going to be able to stream with this as well. Really fun game to watch. You know, I wish that the esports had not taken so long to get started.
Yeah.
Because the game really has kind of died off in popularity a bit. But really fun to watch. I think that it was a great competition for everybody. They're certainly working out kinks. The NA and EU teams presents a little bit of interesting stuff going on, but tied for 5th. They ended up winning that tiebreaker, so I guess 5th place. Yeah, it was exciting times. I know they're looking forward to the next one next week.
We certainly are as well. Another competition, Clash Royale. Unfortunately, it didn't necessarily go our way, but I think everybody was still excited to see the team play for the first time in this combination.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's no secret that we've invested a lot in Clash Royale over this season. Not only 5 really strong players, but 5 support staff as well. We've been going pretty hard in this. So going into that first match and having things not go our way, I think was a little bit frustrating. The additional complications of the admin situation and the bug that ended up not being, regamed. I think that was even additionally frustrating. But I know that the guys are going to put it behind them. And as Jason said when he was talking with Matt, their manager, it's not about what's happened. It's about how we move forward from it here.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really unfortunate circumstance. It's a brand new season. It's been a long time. There's a new tournament organizer. They have new admins. Everyone's trying to kind of, figure this out as we go to some level. We filed an official dispute and got an official response from the league where they admitted, hey, sorry, like this probably wasn't handled the way if we had a little more experience under our belts, the way the rule book kind of dictated. But it's behind us, and we feel everyone's going to push forward, and we respect their decision. Hopefully, the dispute really encourages OGN to up its game and we think it will. Make sure the admins and everyone and every player knows exactly the procedures for if there's a bug in the game, what takes place and how it's to be handled. So, it is frustrating, but, on the other end, it's a long season. We have a lot of confidence in our team. So you just got to be positive and optimistic and push forward again.
Matt was here over the weekend, right? For the
Mobile Matt was
Exactly.
in town doing a bunch of meetings and networking at DreamHack Dallas and hanging out around the office and updating us on the mobile scene. It was great to have him in the office.
Fortunately, I wanted him on a press conference, but unfortunately left last night already. So.
Yeah, he's already gone.
He's gonna be on the show at some point. I can promise you that. Anywho,
And then one thing also, congratulations to Tyler. He was playing in the Grand Masters this weekend, ended up having a really good weekend, won all of his matches. So well done. I believe he advances to 4-2, if I'm not incorrect. And then Casey with a solid showing as well, still sitting at 3-3. So they're doing pretty well in the Grand Masters, which has had, remarkably great production and really solid viewership so far.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. And just for anybody that is wondering what's going on with Dota, they've been a little bit quiet since Epicenter. So with them going to Ukraine and then needing to be prepared for visas for Russia with Epicenter, everybody's back in their home countries right now. They're sorting out visas. They're
There we
not
go.
American
Go.
visas,
There we go.
but they are sorting out visas right now.
visas.
And then they'll be heading over to get a couple days of boot camp in before the minor. And hopefully that's going to be going really well. I think we've got about a week and a half before that minor starts.
yep, starts about next week Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I'm gonna be excited for that after Birmingham.
We're getting so close to TI.
Don't remind me. I mean, in general, I feel like the season, like the esports season, is ramping up for everybody, right? We're like July, August. That's like
Time of the
the
year.
time of the year for esports. So
Yeah.
we're getting there. But for now, this is just the Q&A section. I say just, but for me, this is the most important part of this show.
Yeah,
This
I
is
love
where
the
we
Q&A.
get to answer your questions. If you ever have a question for us, please reach out to us, Twitter, Discord, wherever you can find us, #ColdPC. We love answering your questions. This is what the show's about. We love being transparent with you guys. And I think the first person to ask a question in this one, it's a very good example of why we like to do this. Dr. Waldo, one of our fan elites.
Look at that.
Very loyal to us, and we love answering his questions. And his first one is, how much time together does the new iteration of COLCS have prior to ECS?
Very little.
About a week of online scrims, and they all landed in London today, which is Tuesday. So they'll have 1 day of scrims probably in person.
Not going to be easy. Not going to lie. It's an uphill battle. Huge underdogs at this event, and we're just going to try to use it, like I said earlier, to improve and to grow and see where we go after that.
Hey, we've had Magic in London before, twice last season. So
Yeah, never know.
That is
Never
true.
know what can happen.
Yeah.
But we're moderating our expectations. If they don't have the best event, we're not going to be yelling at them. You know what I'm saying? Not that we ever do, but there are certain expectations for certain events, and some are higher than others. And we're trying to be realistic about a brand new young player on a brand new roster with a brand new IGL, and see what we can learn from it.
Second question, you alluded to it earlier, Scott, but did the Rocket League guys enjoy Dallas and the GSPC?
I'd say they definitely did.
Yeah.
Even during their break time, because we had the Counter-Strike tournament up, DreamHack Dallas on the TVs. And they were just eating lunch, hanging out. It was like they felt really part of the family. And it was,
Yep.
Yeah,
like
that
I
was
said,
fun.
having our first European team not based here come over, it was great to just have them out.
It was
come
awesome.
hang out.
Yeah, that was a really fun week having them over here. I think that if we had the ability to get them into NAR LCS and have them move over here, I would be very interested in that. But for right now, they're playing in Europe, and happy to have them here whenever they have an event.
Flake's totally embraced the NA life, by the way. He
Yeah.
immediately started streaming, and he's been
Yeah,
he's been on like 900 to 1,000 viewers every time as well.
He's crushing it, man.
Great.
How does poor problem solving and event management affect Cold's evaluation of an esports scene's viability in reference to the CRL incident?
Poor problem solving and event management, affects everyone's evaluation of an esports game. we love the mobile scene. We love particularly the people that we work with directly in our organization. But yeah, I think we all need to politely but firmly insist on better. What happened in our first game was unacceptable. You can come with excuses, oh, it's the first round, or this admin didn't have this, or whatever. But look, and this is what we politely stated in our official dispute, competitive integrity must be prioritized over all else. It must be prioritized over the production, must be prioritized over, saving money on admin training, whatever it is. We have to have competitive integrity, whether it's an anti-cheat system for online games or whether it's properly educated admins and a system in place for LAN events. Not here to burn bridges or throw people under the bus, but it must be prioritized, and what happened was unacceptable. Well, we're going to put it behind us, and we're going to look to the future and do our very best, but it doesn't excuse what happened. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily right now a reflection on the Clash scene. We're big believers in it. We want it to be successful. We're investing heavily in it. But if this sort of thing keeps popping its ugly head up, it's going to lower our opinion of that scene. And I know there's a lot of people working really hard to make sure it doesn't happen again.
And to just kind of add on to that, for me, I look at something like Overwatch League that is like probably, in my opinion, the pinnacle of league administration and production and scheduling. Like they just do everything right. Say what you will about the game itself, but as far as the league goes, it's done really, really well. And that would increase my want to be in Overwatch versus something like, let's say, H1Z1 League. Even if they came back and they said, we're having a $10 million event, we're paying for all your players, I would still look at that extremely skeptically and be like, even if that's all true, which I don't believe it is, even if it is, do I want to be involved with people that have shown themselves in the past to have poor decision making, to be able to repeatedly make those mistakes, and even within one game or another? If I'm going to a CSGO event and I know it's run by ESL that does a really good job versus I know that I'm going to some random event in China that continually screws up everything, I'm going to want to go to the ESL event in China. So I think that in the industry, we have long memories. We make sure that the people that are doing things right are rewarded. We praise them. But the people that kind of screw things up repeatedly, we make sure that we're wary of them as well. We're never looking to burn bridges, but we remember.
That's a really good sentiment. We mentioned that we are fans of the format, or that we enjoyed the last weekend of Apex. But how the guys feel? How the players feel?
Yeah, I think that the guys in Apex, they would love to be playing, competitive format, 20 teams, all pros in one server. Unfortunately, the custom servers don't exist at this time. At some point in the future, I'm sure that will be an option. And I think there's still going to be viability for both formats. Right now, if they queued up 20 teams at the same time, they can probably get 15 or 16 teams in the same game. But it's just not as clean as it is being able to do the pub stomping right now. So we'll see. In the future, I think that both will still have a good active scene, just like in Fortnite.
And then Dr. Waldo's last question. Having worked in esports this long, would you say there's a part of the world in particular where you haven't made connections but would like to?
What do you think, man? You book all our flights. Do we cover most of the world?
We actually do cover most of the world. I'm just trying to think where I want to go for an event. Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
You're a big fan of Hawaii.
The Hawaiian esports scene?
There you go.
Yeah, they're growing.
There you go.
Japan?
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Japan.
The Rainbow Six Siege line finals.
We
is
can
in
do
Japan.
qualifiers in Hawaii, then to Japan.
Japan has a strong Rainbow Six scene. They have a strong fighting game scene, really strong fighting game scene.
Call of Duty
strong
is getting
Clash
there.
Royale scene is actually really popular in Japan. That's kind of cool. Maybe the Japanese. They've got Mario Cup in Dota.
Yeah, we're pretty blessed to have been in the scene for a long time, so we have a lot of connections around the world. If I had to list some places I'd like stronger connections and more kind of relationships, probably India. I think it's going to be a giant gaming scene that's still largely untapped, even though we're just in Mumbai. I think South Africa's got a really vibrant scene, and I'd like to know more people from that area as well. I think they're up and coming strong, and my global network is probably weakest in those two places.
I think South America for me. I think having Tavo on the Dota team right now has really shown us the love that the South American fans and the Brazilian fans are expressing for us right now. So I'd love to make it down to an event down there at some point and develop more connections.
Maybe in the next couple of years. Last question for the day. Scode, do the chairs in the HQ really smell like new cars? The ones, particularly the ones in the conference
Side
room.
A?
Side A.
Side A. They smell like fresh leather, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, that room smells good. I love the smell of fresh leather. I think they smell better than a new car.
I
It's a
agree.
little different, though, right? It's furniture versus a car. What do you think, Ford?
I haven't really smelled those chairs, to be honest. I've just been worried about keeping them clean and making sure no one's spilling stuff on them.
Right.
But I'm gonna go smell them as soon as we get back.
Who was the first person to spill something in that room? Was it this guy?
I don't think I should comment on that.
Yeah, that's probably me. We were having pizza one night in construction.
It was Jason, but I didn't want to say it.
To be fair, I spilled on my own jeans. So,
He did.
It wasn't technically spilled on the room. It was spilled in my own lap.
I think it was like a couple hours earlier. Scott had gotten on us. He's like, nobody eats in this room. Nobody. Like, you're not spilling stuff on these chairs, on this table. And then I come back later and I see this stuff that had been spilled. And I'm like, what happened here? He's like, oh, Jason spilled some stuff on his jeans.
No. Yeah, on my jeans. I didn't get it
To be
on.
fair, I was the first person to bring food in there too, after I told everyone not to. So
Hypocrite.
I will say, ever since we moved into the GSPC, I've been really paranoid about like water rings. So one day, Daniel comes out and hands out these coasters, and I've been super paranoid about using them.
Dude, we've got like thousands of Miller Lite coasters.
But I really like using them because I'm really afraid of just leaving water marks.
I mean, it's smart.
There you go.
that's good.
There
Shout
you
out
go.
to Miller Lite.
That's right.
Shout out to the GSPC. We're still not opening to the public, but I think everybody at the office is just looking forward to that day when we can open the doors to everybody.
Yeah, we get asked quite frequently. I say this summer because I hate setting a date and then something pushes it back, which is often the case with construction and things. We're shooting probably for late July, but for sure by some point in August, I think we'll be up and running. So I just like to say we'll be open summer 2019. If you're in the area, come visit.
Until then, though, there's going to be lots of groundbreaking. I believe.
New episode this week, I
Well, no.
think.
We have Through the Smoke this week.
Okay.
So
I'm wrong.
if you
Sorry.
want like a bigger scoop of whatever has happened with COLCS, I think Through the Smoke. I've seen like I think we've all seen the trailer. We posted it on social. Should be great.
Oh, yeah.
But groundbreaking. I'm so looking forward to that. That episode that they showed us, or the first cut or whatever,
Yeah, I saw that cut yesterday. It looks good.
looks clean. So I think even if it's not open, I think every fan will still have a lot of fun with the GSPC.
Yep, good content coming and opening to the public soon.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it this far, as always, extra fan lead points.
That's right.
And we'll be tuning out. As always, leave us questions under the comments or in the comments section, or even feedback. If you have anything you want to let us know about, make sure to hit us up on YouTube, Discord, Twitter, wherever, and we'll be seeing you next week.
Thanks for watching.
Adios.